Take a walk with me down memory lane, back to the year that was 2020. Yeah, that was a year, wasn't it? COVID ruined pretty much everything, and we were all driven to the brink of insanity by lockdowns and masking and all the other stuff that went on that year. But one of the bright spots of 2020, if we want to call it that, was the Netflix documentary Tiger King. If nothing else, it brought humanity together in one giant collective chorus of, what the fuck is going on? The documentary followed Joe Exotic when he was owner-operator of the Greater Wynwood Exotic Animal Park and his ongoing feud with founder of Big Cat Rescue, Carol Baskin. I was a little late to hop on the Tiger King train, but in December of 2020, I had the opportunity to watch it with some close friends of mine. They'd all seen Tiger King before me, so they got their enjoyment out of watching me watch it. And yeah, this was my face pretty much the entire time. Because, damn. Joe Exotic left the animal park in June of 2018 and was arrested in September of that year on federal charges related to animal abuse and an alleged murder-for-hire plot involving Carol Baskin. In 2019, he was sentenced to 22 years in federal prison. An appeals court later reduced that sentence by 1 year. Throughout his time in prison, Joe Exotic has believed he was wrongly convicted and unfairly sentenced. Before President Donald Trump left office in 2020, Joe Exotic and his supporters pushed hard for a pardon that did not come. The success of Tiger King made Joe an internet sensation and gave him a massive band of followers, some of whom have been working hard for years to get him a pardon, both from President Trump and President Joe Biden. Which brings us to today, dear viewers. If you had told me back in December 2020 I would get to talk to Joe Exotic, I probably would have laughed at you. But a couple of weeks ago, his official X account put out a call for podcasters to do interviews. I reached out, and we did an interview with Joe Exotic from federal prison. What follows is that interview, unedited and uncut. So enjoy it and then come back afterwards for some closing thoughts.
Here we go.
I just wanted to make sure I was recording the call
You,
on my end. How are you?
you finally found a phone that works.
Right. Well, I the other phone was the one that I use for my podcast because I don't like
Right,
to give my personal cell phone out to everybody, but I made an
right.
exception for you because it didn't seem to be working the other way. So thank you for reaching out and calling and being so patient
Well,
with the technical
well,
issues.
I appreciate you giving me a platform and a voice, sweetie.
You are very, very welcome. I know you have a limited time, so we'll dive right into it. I'm recording it on
Oh,
my phone, so then what I'll do is put it in the my show and then upload it to my website, and it'll be good to go. Today's
okay,
Wednesday, by the weekend.
okay.
All right. First, I want to ask, how are you feeling?
Well, I mean, it's prison, and I'm sick, but I'm holding my own. My
Mm,
prostate cancer is out of remission, and I have lung cancer in my left lung, and I still get blood transfusions every month, so
okay.
it's rough.
I can imagine that it is. I can imagine that it is, but they're otherwise. I mean, it's prison, but they're treating you as well as you can be treated in prison.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of people don't understand the prison that I'm at.
Hmm.
It's a medical center, first of all. Okay, and it's not like there's bars and you're locked in,
Hmm.
a cell with bars or shit.
Hmm.
That's just kind of like a college campus. There's open movement. There's no doors anywhere.
Okay.
We live in dorms, so I
Hmm.
have nine other people in my dorm. Uh, and I spend 7 hours a day outside at recreation, so that's how I keep alive right now. Is
Okay.
I go out and work out.
Yeah, good. That's good. How now? Remind me again where you are. You still in Texas?
I am in Fort Worth,
Okay.
Texas. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the weather is much better there than it is here in Wisconsin. That's good.
Man, today it's 70 degrees. It's beautiful.
I am jealous. It's not 70 here and it's raining, but the snow is all
uh,
gone. So for February 26th, I'll take what I can get. Well,
right.
that's good. Now I want to kind of just give you my goal with this is to give you a platform to make your case. I know you have been pushing for a pardon since the first Trump administration. You've had your supporters deliver documents to the DOJ explaining why you should be pardoned, you shouldn't be in prison. So kind of tell my listeners what your case is for getting a pardon from President Trump.
Well, okay. First of all, people need to understand that I did not film for Tiger King. Okay, I
Hmm.
was already in jail 2 years during that filming and the release of Tiger King. And the evidence that we have now, and I would appreciate it if everybody would go look at it. It's on the website joeexoticofficial.com on the evidence link. Uh, there's all the videos and everything, text messages between the witnesses and the federal agents, and they all knew that they were lying in order to put me in prison and close the zoo. My brother, there's a recording there. My brother, where he was in on it from day one. There's text messages there from my niece to the federal agent, where she was in on it from day one. And you have to kind of understand my family and Carol Baskin a little bit to understand why they wanted to do this so bad. My siblings hated my mom and dad so bad that they never even called them mom and dad. They called them Francis and Shirley. Okay. And when my brother died, GW, and we started building that zoo in his name, my mom and dad poured a shit ton of money in that zoo. And my brothers and sisters were scared that they were going to spend their entire inheritance building that zoo. So they hated that zoo.
Hmm.
Okay, so I had the power of attorney from my parents because I took care of them every day. All right, and when they put me in jail, my niece got the power of attorney away from me, and she put them in separate nursing homes so they couldn't communicate. Well, my brothers that died, his mission was my mom and dad would never go to a nursing home, so that's
Hmm.
why I took care of my parents.
Hmm.
All right, so as soon as she put them in the nursing home, she got the power of attorney away from me. She took mom and dad's house, mom and dad's property that the house sat on. She took all of the land in Kansas, and she signed the zoo over to Carol.
Oh, wow.
In order for Carol not to fight her because Carol was suing my mom, you know.
Hmm. Right.
So they made that under table deal. Okay, well they made Tiger King with the agenda to make people look with exotic animals look crazy. That's why you saw Saf that lost her arm sitting in a junkyard instead of in front of a tiger cage.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you know who the hell interviews a hitman in a bathtub? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Uh,
Exactly.
so their mission was to make us look crazy. Kamala Harris co-sponsored the Big Cat thing,
This call is from a federal prison.
and then they nicknamed it the Tiger King bill after it aired, and they put me in prison, and they
Hmm.
passed it. So today, Carol Baskin's Global Federation of Animal Sanctuaries and the AZA, which was the director of the Federal Fish and Wildlife at the time, Dan Ash, they're the only ones in America now that can own tigers. Okay, so they got what they wanted. But why do I deserve a pardon?
Hmm.
The hitman, Alan Glover, on that website, joeexoticofficial.com, he did a deposition with my attorneys, okay, where he admitted that he lied to the grand jury. He admitted where he lied to the jury. I didn't pay him to go kill Carol. He never went to Florida like he said he did. I never gave him a phone like he said he did. Now we have the text messages from that very phone proving that I never gave him that phone. Uh, and then he got on world television and under oath and took him to the zoo and showed him where he had a murder weapon where him and Jeff's original plan was to kill me to start with.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
Okay.
that's how bad they that's how bad they wanted the zoo.
Hmm.
Okay, and so Jeff Lowe, Lauren Lowe, Alan Glover, and James Garrison. When the feds came and raided Jeff's new zoo and took all of his stuff away and threw him off the property, you know,
Hmm.
they all turned on the government. Okay, and this is where the government should never have used 5 convicted felons to pull their dirty work and set me up to start with,
Hmm.
because they were recording the federal agents the entire time.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
if you look on YouTube on Tiger Tales, my attorney John Phillips, there's 700 phone recordings and videos there off of their phones that my lawyer retrieved, where the federal agents were telling them how to lie.
That does
So,
not
so
surprise me, but continue.
why am I in prison? Why am I still in prison?
Right.
My lawyer now during the Biden administration, John Phillips, he filed a complaint with the Attorney General Merrick Garland. He filed it with the FBI director. He filed it with the U.S. Attorney in Oklahoma and Florida, and never even got a fuck you or a kiss my ass, excuse my language, back from any of them. And he filed all this evidence of
Mm-hmm.
where the federal agents knew and
Mm-hmm.
covered up Jeff
Mm-hmm.
and Lauren raping girls at the zoo, James and Jeff sex trafficking 75 Asian girls in Las Vegas, bank fraud, credit card fraud, identity theft. It's all there. It's
Mm-hmm.
on the website. Just please go look at it.
Yeah, that's the
And
Joe
then
Exotic
ask,
official.
right. And then ask, Trump in every post he puts up, why is Joe Exotic in prison?
Right. Right. Now, you were expecting it from the Trump administration because your supporters had everything arranged to have you leave prison at the end of Trump's first term. Did you ever hear anything from the Biden administration or at all, other than the legislation that Kamala Harris brought forth?
Okay, now I had a pardon on Trump's desk during the first term,
Okay.
and Biden officially rejected it during his administration.
That, which blows my mind given who else he has pardoned, including his family as he was walking out the door. But I won't go off into a tangent on that. And then he just rejected it outright. What would you do after you were let go from prison if Donald Trump gives you this pardon?
Okay, well, my since I've been in here, my life has took a different turn just a little bit because I have a life partner now,
Hmm.
and he's an illegal immigrant, and he is going to be deported Monday, as a matter of fact. So I would like to be able to file his papers and get him back in America the legal way,
Hmm.
so we could both stay in America.
Hmm.
But if I have to, I'll go to Mexico until that happens. But my goal, my entire life, I took care of sick kids. I raised money for people to have surgeries. I
Hmm.
granted last wishes. I did Tigers for Tots. I did so much community work for the homeless. I want to go back to that. And now that I have a name and a platform, I think I can really help the charity that work that I used to do. And Operation Smile, where you fix little kids' faces,
Hmm.
it was my favorite charity on the planet. And I want to go back and really concentrate on my charity work, but I want to testify in front of Congress about what really goes on in federal prison. Because if the public knew what really goes on in here,
Hmm.
they would be outraged. Because there's nothing about fixing anything in here. This is just it's amazing, and I complain about this all the time, and it's not this prison, okay? So I don't want to badmouth this prison, but we're concentrating on the border right now so
Hmm.
hard about illegal drugs coming across the border. You can't keep them out of a fenced-in federal prison, so you just will give up on the border.
Right. Right. And that's a very good point. Um,
We have to fix this system, and we got to find the staff that wants,
This call is from a federal prison.
and then we have to find the judges that aren't corrupt, that are somehow making a profit off of putting people in here for so long. It's just like a sex offender. There's 800 of them in this prison I'm with.
hmm.
And all of them have 5 to 10 year sentences for molesting little kids.
Oh,
And
wow.
I'm sitting here for 21 years, and done nothing wrong because
Right.
they've all admitted to perjury.
Right, right, and that seems like an injustice, which is part of the reason why I wanted to have you on. Earlier on, you talked about being able to go outside and do recreation, and it's more of a campus than a prison. One of the questions I had: do you have the right to vote? Are you able to vote from prison, or are you not able to do that right now?
I cannot vote. I
Okay.
ran for president this last term.
Mm-hmm.
To because I wanted to debate Biden. That's the only reason I ran. And then 2 months before election, I shut
Mm-hmm.
my campaign down and
Mm-hmm.
I endorsed Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but that's another thing. Washington, D.C., the prisoners there get to vote in federal prison because it's the District of Columbia. Okay, so why isn't it across the United States that prisoners get a vote? You know why? Because we'd vote these people out of office. That's why.
Probably you are absolutely correct.
Oh,
Um,
I know I'm correct.
you are exactly. And I know your time is kind of limited. We talked about sort of the evidence and the case, but if you could speak face to face with Donald Trump right now, what's your closing argument? What would you say to him if you had the opportunity right now?
You know, I would say President Trump. You know, you're probably the best example of how this system has been weaponized against people, and it's not just you. Think of how many normal American citizens are in prison or have been in prison by the same justice system that just has an agenda or a target on your back. Uh, I've made it 55 years, sir, without ever getting a speeding ticket, even.
Hmm.
I have no criminal history whatsoever. I've devoted my life to charity work, and I've done 7 years. I've lost everything. I don't even have any clothes out there right now. My parents have died. I think I've suffered enough for whatever I might have done wrong, but I didn't do anything wrong. So, please, I think you did a great job by putting Alice Johnson as your board, pardon czar. I think she knows, after 30 some years of prison, she knows what's wrong in here and how the system works against people. So Don Jr. is one of my big advocates, along with Joe Rogan and Matt Gaetz and Dana White. So please listen to them and give me a chance to return to the free world, please.
All right, and I will definitely tag all of them when I get this interview up and running to go. The websites you want
It's
people to
and
go to are Joe
it's gonna
Exotic
hang up
Official.
on us. So
All right,
go to
go.
joeexoticofficial.com. I love every one of you out there for being my voice. Help me get home, please.
Thanks, Joe, so much. Have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Bye. So that was my interview with Joe Exotic. I'll put the link to that website, Joe Exotic Official, in the description for the video. As far as my thoughts on whether or not he should get a pardon, we've seen President Trump in his first term and at the beginning of the second term, and Joe Biden give plenty of pardons. Joe Biden definitely gave some pardons that were questionable, and I'll leave it at that. I don't want to get too political, but I think Joe Exotic has a case, and on top of that, he's sick. He's got cancer. Give the guy a pardon. That's where I kind of come down. I want to say thank you for listening. Click like, subscribe, tune in. Trying to make this YouTube channel thing work. We'll see how it goes, and we'll catch you next time.